Well, okay, then welcome back, everyone, to the Team Gravity Fight Night. We are getting into the actual fight night, the best matches of tonight, if I can find the proper wording for that. But this is going to be a best of 7 between two very good Korean players, BboongBboong and Keen. Now, BboongBboong, I believe, has gotten to or has played in GSL before, if I look at it, or was, actually no, he's played in Pro League before and done decently in that. While Keen has tried to play in Pro League but only won a couple games, and actually it was just earlier this year that Keen started winning some games and actually doing a decent time with Pro League. If I look at my notes. Yeah, Keen has played in also the GSL. Actually, both of them have played GSL and Pro League, but BboongBboong has done by far done better.
Yeah, I think he's probably the more well-known players out of the two of them, not just because he's got a funny name, but yeah, we'll see how they match up against each other on Terraform after our quick intro video. I'll see you very soon.
Team Gravity presents Fight Night. Y'all ready for this?
Welcome back, everyone, to Team Gravity's Fight Night. This is the first game in a best of 7. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Terraform. Playing for Prime Clan, it is the blue Terran player, Keen.
And down the bottom right-hand corner, we've got the red Zerg player, also playing Team Prime. It is BboongBboong.
Yeah, I've wondered about that. I see, like, on Team Liquid, it's called Prime Clan, but I wonder if it's just Team Prime. Not sure what happened with that. But as I was mentioning beforehand, both have played in GSL and Pro League, but by far, as we were mentioning, BboongBboong has done a little bit better. And it was actually just about a month and a half ago that Keen won his first Pro League match.
Yeah, a bit more recent, but a very solid result nonetheless. Pro League is a bit different than these sort of best of 7s, though. Very often you'll be preparing for a specific match or a specific matchup, and you'll quite often know a little bit ahead, quite a bit ahead of time, who your opponent is like to be. Somebody will send you out, that your team will train you up and send you out as a sniper to take down somebody maybe a bit above your level, punching up.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
there's
players
some
are very,
cool
very good at
strategy
that.
with it.
Yeah. But the best of 7s as well, there's a lot more of the mind games come into it. That almost doesn't come in at all on Pro League. In Pro League, you come in with, or you can very much come in with like one build to take out this one player, and hey, that's good. Once you've done that, you're good. But we'll see what King can actually manage to bring to the table here. For the minute, looks like going for a no repro opening, so this is coming more and more in style. It has been, I guess, for a little while, but we'll see whether repro openings a little bit safer against some kind of cheese return on these new maps. I guess it'll be a lot more map dependent. And that is actually one of the things I mentioned before tonight, but I'll say again, I really, really like about this new map pool is there's going to be so many map-specific builds. Terraform,
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit less so. It's a lot more of the standard map, but particularly on some things like Bridgehead and Dash and Terminal, it's close enough that I think on Dash and Terminal you can actually get away with like the 9-pooled Spore Crawler build again if they send the Overlord to your base. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things that the reason why people hate them is because it's very map-specific builds. You can do a lot of cheeses, but on the other hand, I like it because you have to adapt to new maps and learn them, and then you can play them really well because there's very unique things and unique nuances about every single one of these maps. BboongBboong will open up actually pool hatch gas, so nothing too crazy out of him. Playing quite standard, and it's interesting you were pointing out that Keen actually is going for, it was not going for Reapers, and is actually, beautifully enough, this is, I mean, you can tell it's just Korean by that, sending out his first racks to try to hunt down this Overlord, and actually, I don't think he's going to get it. He may get it. I don't know if you can reach. I'm not sure how far you can reach out.
No, he won't get it.
Ah,
But
so
yeah, that
close
was
to.
really cool. Very good moves by BboongBboong to actually kind of move that Overlord away when he did. Otherwise, he would have lost it. And losing Overlord that early on in the game is always horrible. But for now, everything's looking fine for BboongBboong. Getting his queens up. Actually, only sticking on 3. I mean, yeah, 3's fine. If you don't think there's any kind of big aggression. Somewhere between 3 and 6 is generally what you open up, both being, you know, two opposite ends of really, really greedy defense and just kind of hoping there's not a huge amount of pressure. But either way, Keen is going to be bringing that factor into play pretty soon, most likely for a couple of Widowmines. It's a little interesting. I think the Widowmines aren't as great early on against Zerg as they are against Protoss. Like, Widowmine drops seem to be a much more anti-Protoss thing, with the fact that, I guess, detection is a bit less accessible for Protoss than it is for Zerg. But of course, I don't know what I'm thinking, because Hellions can also be built out of factory and are the most standard thing in any matchup since, like, ever for TVZ. But BboongBboong, though, Roach Warren, 2 extra gases, Lair. This is shaping up to be a bit of a 1-1 Roach timing. Although, with only one evolution chamber, maybe just a +1 Roach timing.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting out of BboongBboong, and Keen has not scouted any of this at all. He did scout into the main base, but he's not know the layer, no nothing like that. So these 2 Hellions are going to be very important to see what scouting stuff they can actually get done. And actually, one queen moves up, is going to the main to do an inject, and it's going. No, that isn't enough for the inject, but yeah, going up to the main to do the inject, and the Hellions, surprisingly enough, don't actually poke in there. All they've seen is the most they've seen is the natural base halfway done. So right now, Keen is playing a little bit blindly, and it's actually allowed BboongBboong to be able to get out a queen onto the starting creep, and should be able to push back any Hellion, any of these little harassments that's coming on. But now, 2 more Hellions and a Marine coming across the map. Stim, a Viking. This is, as I've mentioned before, kind of the I'll throw a ton of random stuff at you and it's hard to counter build. But also, I just love the Viking as a Terran player versus TVZ. When you just send one Viking out and clear out all the Overlords, it's always a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have too much success versus BboongBboong. There's like 1 Overlord down the kind of just below Keen's natural that he can get, but this is going to be cool. A little bit of a Hellion elevator, bringing these Hellions up here into the main base, and BboongBboong, without the fast speedlings, is going to take a little while to get back up here. So a few drones are going to go down. Luckily, a couple of roaches spawned just the right time, but Keen will kill off quite a few roaches with that attack, quite a few drones with that attack, and now he's going to go to the natural where he can get even more. With Roach speed finished now, though, this can make it a lot easier for BboongBboong to defend.
Yeah, Keen did get 9 kills into the main base, but now Roach speed is done, and BboongBboong's actually saying, you know what, I can get damage done over there. I don't need to worry about my 3rd base. I'm prepared for this. I got 2 queens in my natural, and isn't able to push this off. But now, Keen's going to have to be able to deal with 16 Roaches, but he's already got a bunker ready, a full wall, and 3 more bunkers on the way. To boot, he's got 2 Marauders right here, and they're going to be able to get in the bunker as soon as it finishes, even can get in the forward one. But I actually really like that move, not putting them in the forward one, because you know it's going to go down. It's the second 2, which are really going to provide the buffer, but at the same time, Keen is going to lose a decent amount of supply right here, and that's just barely not going to supply block him. Actually, it may supply block him right there.
Yeah, just a little bit. But BboongBboong can very, very easily deny 3rd. This isn't a huge, like, 1-1 Roach all in, but this is still a pretty scary force for Keen to actually have to contend with, and he definitely can't fight this without the defensive advantage of these bunkers. So, yeah, BboongBboong can just make sure there's no 3rd base. He could have stayed over there, I feel, for a little while longer to make sure there was still no 3rd base. And then he just heads right back across the map with speed starting for these Lings and Aspire. Looks like he's going to try and transition into a bit more of a normal game. We're not going to see any Roach Hydra, which I think is a bit of a shame, because I would have loved to have some stuff to a replay to study here, because I do love me some Roach Hydra. But Mute is on the way, also going to be a great choice.
Yeah, well, we have the possibility of 6 games after this, so I'm sure you're going to see some Roach Hydra somewhere, but BboongBboong is gearing up for those mutas, as you mentioned, and it's only going to be spotted by this one Viking by Keen, interestingly enough, but the Queen of BboongBboong will be moving out to try to push back this Viking, and hopefully it won't get the kill, but, oh, beautiful transfuse. Mutas are out now, though. Keen does not quite know that yet, and still, again, Keen is, yes, he's gotten to the main base a couple times, and actually he did see all 4 gas, so I'm sure he knows that this is going to be mutas, and he's marching across across the map with a very formidable force, 27 Marines, 10 Marauders, 3 Widow Mines, and this should be very hard. This is going to be very hard for BboongBboong to deal with, especially with how much gas and how much time he's waited to actually get a decent army. Beautiful pickoff.
Yeah, sniping that Widow Mine's good. He's going to be losing a lot of creep here, and he's going to have to try and set up a bit of a concave. He moves down the ramp here into Keen's army, but the Widow Mines are going to go off on... No, actually, they actually missed all the roaches. But you know what? No, roach numbers are dwindling so fast. Keen just pummeling through this army here. He's going to rip it all to shreds and move up towards the third base as well. All the mutes have gone down. The reinforcements of BboongBboong, there just aren't any. GG.
GG. And right there, I feel like simply BboongBboong's Baneling Nest finished 10 seconds before that attack actually hit, so he just needed a few Banelings, and it would have been a much easier attack to actually defend if he could. But yeah, very nicely played by Keen. It was an interesting move. I'm kind of curious to see if... I'm wondering if he was reacting to anything or if that's just how he completely planned it out, because he did scout that the mutas were coming, but just simply decided, you know what, I'm going to keep going bio and keep pushing hard and not really going to go for any very specific drops.
Yeah, well, I feel like he caught BboongBboong right in the middle of the transition. If BboongBboong had been keeping
I
up
completely
with
agree.
Yeah, if he'd been keeping up with, like, Roach Hydra, and I think he would have done a lot better there, and he would have actually been able to sort of defend that off. If he'd had a standard Ling Bane Muta sort of thing, it would have been a lot closer. The Banelings would have been able to force the bio to run away while Lings and Mutas chase them down. All the standard sort of stuff we're used to seeing in TVZ. But as it was, BboongBboong kind of had the worst of both worlds. He had the roaches, which are the meat shield, they don't do that much damage, and he only had a couple of them. And a few lings, which again, they're more of a meat shield. When they're just in small numbers, they're basically useless versus bio. And just a handful of mutas, which are never great in a straight-up engagement versus, you know, a large army. So
yeah, definitely.
It just really very nicely timed attack by Keen, and it really caught BboongBboong a bit off guard.
It was definitely very nice. Keen saw that third base going down, wait a little while, and just hit exactly as you're mentioning, right before the just really the mass amount of roach or mass amount of mutas was able to get out. And there was even a Baneling Nest, as I mentioned, ready, but was just a couple seconds too late. But getting in here on Coda. In the top left-hand corner, spawning in the blue trunks, we have the Zerg player representing Prime. It is BboongBboong.
And down to the bottom right, then. Taking a pretty easy 1-0 lead so far. He's going to have 3 more games ahead of him, at least, if he wants to take the $60 prize. It's another Prime team player, the Red Terran, Keen.
And this is much more of a standard map, obviously. It's been here since it's been here since last season, and I know none of you guys can see this, but right before we got into the first game, when they were doing vetoes, they were actually talking about, oh, is it the new, like, what pool is it? They weren't 100% sure themselves what was being used, so definitely maybe some strange things going on Terraform at least, but this is much more known map, and it looks like BboongBboong, don't know yet, but I'm guessing he's going to do what he did last game.
Yeah, he seems to be lining himself
up
for
he's opening up
so far. Oh, actually, no, it's going to be 15 pool up here. I've just looked at his actual base and saw that he had a drone in possession for the 15 pool. So, pool first. I actually don't know whether that's something you do on Coda, because the Reaper rush distance is pretty small, or whether BboongBboong has other plans for this. I've kind of thought about it a bit myself, but never timed it out exactly, because obviously you can actually just hop down your base on the path towards their base and then hop up on their side with that Reaper. But looks like Keen is actually going to open up Reaper as well in this game. Either way, BboongBboong pulled for hatch. He's going to have his Lings and Queens out a little faster and his hatch a little later, but it doesn't make the biggest difference in the world.
Yeah, no, it definitely does not make the biggest difference. Keen starting off with, as you were mentioning, that Reaper play, and BboongBboong is gonna be. I mean, he's gonna have a fine time defending this. He doesn't have any Lings on the way, but the Queen is, and the Reaper is not even coming across the map yet. There's that one SCV. I doubt there's gonna be a bunker or anything like that, just because the the pool first doesn't necessarily allow at 15 to allow to have more lings, but it definitely you do have a not a quick queen, but a queen is on time to defend just about anything. So this queen should be out, and Keen should be, or sorry, BboongBboong should be fine.
Yeah, I guess that's what he was going for. He wanted to be able to actually skip those lanes to get the queen a bit faster, and so it probably evens out. But either way, oh, that Reaper's coming in. Actually, it's going to cast the queen out of position, so there's a possibility that he can take down the drone here, but this spawning pool has a pretty nice position. Oh, perfectly timed. Turns that into a spore caller. Exactly how he wanted to go, I guess. And Keen comes down towards the natural. And, you know, there's going to be a queen there in a few seconds as well.
This Reaper can micro its heart out, but it won't actually kill the hatchery, sadly. It believes in itself a lot, but it's not quite going to happen. The queen will engage with that Reaper. What? What?
It did.
What is dead?
I'm surprised if it did.
Oh, I'm sorry. You went out a couple times, my bad. But yeah, no, I'd be very surprised if it was able to kill it. It believed though. Every Reaper has to believe it'll kill something someday. But for Keen, starting his third base, Keen is playing very much like we saw, not rough, but Apocalypse. I think it was Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse, just a very not necessarily I would say greedy, but it would be super greedy if he actually sent that third base, that third CC out. He's gonna keep it in his base for all, use it for SCVs, use it for muling, and I like that out of him. Starting the double Hellion production, very standard TVZ meta, into BboongBboong, who is not really going heavy on queens at all. As you mentioned last game, you get in between like 3, 4 to 6, and BboongBboong just kind of has one extra one for creep until he gets the third base up, and then he'll start injecting with that. But he's actually going to start getting up a spine crawler because he does have an overlord at Keen's natural and spots the Hellions moving across the map.
Yeah, and very nice position there. I imagine the Hellions don't come as like the biggest surprise to him because, I mean, it's a TVZ. There's gonna be some Hellions. Almost certainly. If there isn't, you should be thinking there's some funny business afoot, because there almost certainly will be. But BboongBboong is now starting a couple of lanes. They can just kind of dance back and forwards in front of those Hellions if they need to and keep them away. As well as a little bit of a wall in up at this natural base. Although the Hellions actually do kind of YOLO their way into this base here. And they're going to pick off 1 or 2 drones, but they shouldn't actually be able to get too much done. I'm not sure how great this decision is, because, yeah, both the Hellions go down for really very little. I think 2 drones.
One drone.
One drone? Ooh. Yeah, so that's going to hurt Keen's map control. He is still building a few more. But normally you only want to build like 6 to 8 Hellions. And losing 2 of those means you either have to build a few more or your Hellion force has to be a little bit weaker. So, I don't know. I think he just wanted the extra scouting that provided and was hoping that BboongBboong wouldn't defend it, maybe.
I mean, he was able to scout double gas at the natural base, but didn't get up into the main to really completely check off that BboongBboong is going Spire, which he is now. There is going to be a drop into the main, though. No armory yet, though, just to point out to everyone. So these will be normal Hellions, and it may actually be spotted by this little Ling run by in the bottom left. No, it won't at all, actually. But yeah, Keen is going for that drop, and BboongBboong is going to have relatively little to defend in his main base, but he should be fine.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah,
right.
12 Lings coming out. Yeah, he'll be fine.
The 4 Hellions are going to be annoying, though. The problem is if the Lings run out, then like 4 Hellions can line up some great drone hits, and that's already like 4 drones down, another 2, and 1 more. So yeah, this has already been worth it, even if he does lose all these Hellions, and he will. But yeah, he's done a lot of damage to BboongBboong's main drone line there.
That was not at all what I was expecting. 9 drones killed, and at least it did not scout the Spire, but then Keen's just like, you know what, I can scouts the Spire right there, and now actually he's going to have to defend a Baneling bust from BboongBboong. Baneling's moving in so far. That is 6 Banelings, and sadly, they're actually behind the Lings, but then Lings let them in. Bunker goes down, and big Baneling hit onto these Marines, and actually that may have been also a friendly fire Widow Mine, but now the Lings are in, and 5 more Banelings are headed in.
Yeah, 5 Banelings. One of them is getting bait off a Widow Mine. Very, very nice. That takes on an SCV as well, but these 2 Banelings being focus fired down very nicely for Keen as well. And yeah, some pretty solid damage on there by BboongBboong. Not going so all in off it, but I think one of the biggest points there is how many Marines just died in that. Just 1. Okay, never mind. But still, 1 Marine dying. If there had been many more, then these follow-up Mutilisks are would have hit like a truck And I think that might have been one of the reasons why Keen actually took the Marines out of the bunker. Because if they were in the bunker, then they get killed by the Banelings very, very easily. And then that's like 4 dead Marines if it's a full bunker. And you're in big trouble when these Mutalisks come in.
Yeah, and they can start shooting from behind the bunker. But now that these metas are out for BboongBboong, big drone, 9 drones coming out for BboongBboong, and he's just droning up right now, getting all his upgrades, Baneling speed, and +1 air. So he's planning on being a very aggressive Zerg. Well, we see Keen, he was being greedy at first, but he's just been unable to expand. And these metas actually will catch the Medevac. Barely won't, though. Medevac will get away, but I love Keena's perfect, almost perfect missile turret placement. Like almost spotless, yeah.
Yeah, doing very nice so far. Now bring a Viking out just so you can poke those mutas, force them away. But 16 drones on the way for BboongBboong. He's only sitting up at 56. Did I say 16 lings on the way for BboongBboong? He's only sitting up at 56 drones, so this is definitely going to be some kind of big aggressive move. We'll see. He's actually morphing Banelings on his side of the map. Maybe he thinks there's an attack incoming.
That is 26 drones, even though obviously BboongBboong is on 3 bases. It's still 26 drones workers, more than Keen possibly has. So BboongBboong is in a nice position. He's actually got his creep spread started too, which is nice coming across the map.
Yeah, and these mutas are going to be dancing around. Very nice position Widow Mines by Keen as well. One of them hidden behind the refinery and the other one just a little further up. Oh! But these mutas, one of them gets caught out. And he has to be a little scared of Keen's attack coming across the map now. But BboongBboong does have Banelings, has Baneling speed, a few more Lings, and this attack won't be a problem. But he's going to send a little force of a few Banelings in. Doesn't get the best hits. Keen has some nice splits on him. But BboongBboong has plenty of Banelings left where that came on from. And it looks like it's enough to kind of force Keen, or persuade Keen at least, to go away a little bit for the time being.
24 lings coming for BboongBboong, and just a note, at least for Keen is at +1/1. So when these Banelings hit, all these Marines will stay alive. But then again, you have the mutas backing them up, which probably with the bouncing claws will probably be able to kill it. But for now, BboongBboong will be moving into the main base of Keen, and just kind of hesitant. He sees the missile turret. He knows he's got to be very careful, and is actually going to go for it. While on the left-hand side, a big drop is coming out of Keen, and it will actually be spotted, I think. Yeah, it will be spotted by the Hero Queen.
Yeah, I mean, spotted is a relative word. It did get seen, but it was when it landed in the main base. But now, Keen's got a big split up. The Baneling hit, the Widowmine hits are very, very nice for him as well. And BboongBboong has to send in his second wave as well, but the spawning pool might go down. Oh, man.
Oh! Spawning pool goes down, plus 8 drones are killed in that attack. Overall, Keen, I'd say that's a plus. He did lose 3 medevacs, though, right there, and another medevac most likely will go down. And off the back of that, BboongBboong is expanding. Actually, he's just doing a macro hatch. And did he cancel that macro hatch? No, sorry. Just doing a macro hatch at the 3rd base, and +2 attack for this air. These mutas are getting dangerous to deal with, and there's not a Widow Mine at the 3rd base to actually be able to defend.
No, it's going to be tough. But on the other hand, there's only Lings here, so the Marines are more than enough to deal with them, push them away. And yeah, that was a really nice little attack there by Keen, or a little drop, but now he has to deal with the counter swing. BboongBboong morphing up 16 Banelings, and oh boy, they're all rallied in close by. But when he chooses, he can send them in towards this 3rd base. Keen does actually have almost a complete warlord though, and these Widow Mines could be really painful if those Banelings just run straight into them. Keen's paying attention to his army. Oh, he's actually not. And so they do hit a couple, but still not great for BboongBboong.
At the same time, though, BboongBboong has mutas in the back of Keen's main base and doing a little bit of damage, removes the missile turret and goes after these Marines, but will actually have to pull back. Drilling Claws is about halfway done for Keen, which he desperately needs to get in better position. But at the 3rd base, Banelings move in, get 3 kills, but like I was saying, the Marines of Keen are at 1/1, so these Banelings aren't quite killing them on 1 hit. But BboongBboong nice catches a drop coming out of the main base of Keen.
Yeah, Banelings actually only kill Marines on 1 hit on 0 upgrades after the Marines have stimmed and with no combat shields. So usually it does take two Baneling hits to kill a Marine. But either way, these Mutalisks are going to be moving in, doing a lot of damage, kiting backwards and forwards. And BboongBboong is actually starting to get up a decently sized flock now, up to 17. Expecting to add a few more on, up to 24, 26 or so is kind of the ideal number generally, unless you're doing something a bit unusual. But so far, they've been doing really, really well. +2/+2 on its way for BboongBboong as well, but Keen actually already has it. Could start 3-3 any second now, as soon as he actually has enough minerals and gas for it. But yeah, so with Keen actually having the upgrade lead, although BboongBboong is going to equalize it pretty soon, his 3-3 is going to be, his timing is going to be very, very powerful. And not so much that 3-3 is any stronger, just that he's going to have it for so much longer. He can keep up those really, really strong, powerful trades for a little while longer. And there's the +3 attack, especially against these Mutalisks. Mutalisks, they've got 0 armor upgrades, and they probably won't. Oh, actually, they've got Carapace on the way, but they will probably stick around on 2-1 for a little while. And man, Marines kind of tear through Mutalisks when they don't have any upgrades.
They're still going to be even, though, for about 3.5 minutes, though. So this is going to be even for a while. BboongBboong had a huge warp, sorry, not a warp, and a huge spawning of lings here. 20 more lings on the way, and BboongBboong is moving in. That is, that is 61 lings, 15 Mutos moving in. 2 Thors actually in the back will be able to defend. Widowmines do go off, but still there's so many more Banelings piling in. The Mutalisks are down some of these medevacs, but actually now go for the Thor. But beautiful Thor is picked up and will get out just barely, but more Banelings coming in, and the lings that were just more in the beginning of this battle are finishing it off. And beautiful again, the Thor still is alive, but the Mutos finally will finish it off. Like you said, though, Keen will be at 3-3 quicker, but the reason for that is the reason that BboongBboong is not also at 3-3 is because he's put so much into these Mutas.
Yeah. Well, and you just get 3-3 slower as Zerka's Hive, but yeah, that was what an engagement that was. BboongBboong was coming in with wave after wave after wave, finally pushing Keen back mostly. Just the last kind of dregs he has to clean up now. But these lings off creep, they trade a lot worse against the spy, especially as the reinforcements come in. But actually, this Widowmine could end up going off in BboongBboong's favor, but it doesn't. It looks like pretty nice for Keen there. Takes out all those lings, but more lings on the way from BboongBboong. When he starts taking gas as his 4th base, that's when it'll really start getting good for him. He'll be able to pump out the Mutalisk to his heart's content and afford the Banelings that he needs to actually defend. But for now, his Mutalisk count gone down to 13. He's going to want to buff that back up a little bit. But Keen's going to be putting on the drops that Terran are so well known for in all their matchups. Luckily, this time, BboongBboong does have an Overlord in position to spot it.
Yeah, BboongBboong will spot it, but there's not that many lings coming out. The main of BboongBboong is completely mined out, and now he's on 3 base, while his opponent, Keen, is just about on 4. Is that me lagging? No.
Oh, that's the problem. It sounds like our observer's game has crashed, so... should we pause and get a restart?
I'm not all, so I can't. Yeah. Wait, see, I'm seeing if I'm ref. I am not a ref, so I can't. Wait, I can say into Fight Night, though.
If they're on it. But, yeah, we are gonna, I guess taking a little pause here.
They're on Do Not Disturb, though, is the issue. And they're going to keep playing it out unless we...
I can't say anything to them.
Yeah, we're not refs.
And...
All right. Well, there's still lag.
They're still getting a bit of lag, so I guess they're gonna pause it up for a little while here, and we'll see whether the Observer PC fixed itself up. But yeah, we're getting a few frame stops every few seconds. But anyway, in the game, Keen's +3 weapons are actually just about to finish up, and his +3 armor has been started and is a while behind, but will finish up eventually. Got another pause going on, and we're going to see if how.
Oh, we got a radio cast. Yeah, radio cast wise, BboongBboong is moving out across the map. 46 more lings on the way, and now they're speaking in Korean, which I cannot read at all. But we didn't even we didn't even have like the
Google Translate.
What's it called? No, yeah, we can't. We didn't even have what's it called when I'm blanking on it. Like if our observer lagged out, so we'd have the thing of it counting down from 60, so we'd be able to say jump out or whatever. They're gonna keep playing it though, and we'll see if our observer ever gets back in. As you were mentioning though, finally +3, as we were mentioning a good like 3.5 minutes ago, is in the game, and BboongBboong is heading out in the middle of the map. But like I was just mentioning though, he's now on 3 bases to the 4 of Keen.
Yeah, here's. Looks like
fantastic.
See is back in. The lag obviously has cleared up as well. So everything is looking shiny right now. +1 vehicle and weapons, ship weapons actually coming in for Keen as well. And that's gonna be great against these Mutalisks if he starts mixing in some Thors. Yeah, there's a couple of Thors, and of course he helps those Medivacs keep a little bit of survivability. Thors with +2. One-shot Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks actually do have +1 Carapace, so I guess that's not going to be true until +3. But a big engagement coming down over here towards Keen's fourth base. Banelings roll in. No wave after wave for BboongBboong this time. Everything's coming in at once, but Keen with reinforcements piling in. Looks like he's going to weather the storm.
And only 6, or actually, as I say that, only 12 workers killed. A couple mutas do get away. 8 more mutas on the way, but that was the majority of BboongBboong's army right there. BboongBboong. BboongBboong is kind of regrouping, but he has so much less than Keen in this position. It's 108 army supply to 50, and Keen knows this. He's moving out across the map, and is actually going on the right-hand side, which I really like. He has not spotted the base in the top right, but I'm sure he's guessing that it is there and is trying to just go around the main army.
Yeah, most likely, and BboongBboong is going to try and mount a defense here, but with no Banelings, it's going to be next to impossible. Keen pushes forwards here, +3, +2 on the upgrades as well, and these Lings are dying in their droves. Barely any Terran goes down. Nords in the front being so tanky, and the Medivacs helping out as they always do. GG!
GG!
And 2-0 for Keen. As a first score posted for a couple of maps.
And yeah, just...
So yeah.
Partially, the upgrades were very good for Keen, but in every single engagement, he just came out a little bit ahead. In each engagement, either he picked up the Thor, he picked up Marines, and just got out of that Baneling Blast area.
Yeah, he did really well there. And boom, I'd say there was only, if I remember correctly anyway, there was only one engagement that went really well for him. Whereas right in the middle, he kept on coming in with one wave after another wave after another wave, just sending in a couple Banelings and the Lings to force Keen to split up and lose a couple, take a couple hits, and then as he regrouped again, BboongBboong was ready with another little wave to come in to force Keen to be actually using all that APM on splitting, whereas BboongBboong could be setting up his next wave and even maybe doing a little bit of a macro behind it. But either way, we're going to be going on to Cactus Valley for game number 3. Any thoughts?
Well, it will be a 4-player map, obviously, so a lot bigger. And the previous 2 games we saw were on Terraform and Coda. So we may be able to see our Zerg friend BboongBboong maybe get up a little bit stronger of an economy to push out more, because like we saw in the last game, it just again and again he tried to overrun, but it wouldn't quite work. He wasn't quite able to remax fast enough, or not even remax fast enough. He just wasn't quite able to out micro Keen in those situations. So I think it will favor BboongBboong a little bit more. He's going to be able to sit back and be able to get up the economy he wants to. And yes, he has tried some early attacks, but they've never quite worked out. So maybe it's the exact opposite in saying that just he's tried early attacks and early Baneling busts, and they haven't really worked out for him. But I think overall, this is going to work out better for BboongBboong, just because he will be able to maybe take a third, maybe take a fourth pace quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it is a big map. It depends a little bit on the spawns, I feel. Cactus Valley cross positions can be pretty good for Zerg. Zerg generally quite comfortable in cross positions, at least in macro games, just because their units are a bit faster, and they like to play the War of Attrition a bit more, because they can remax faster than anyone.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And yeah, that could be pretty good. But on the other hand, there are a couple positions where it gets very difficult to hold on to third and fourth bases for Zerg. But we'll see what we get when we load into Cactus Valley. It's on the way, and we'll see as well whether or not BboongBboong is actually able to put a point on the board. Because at the minute, Kane's up 2-0, or Keen even is up 2-0, and if he wins this map, he'll be on match point.
Yeah, this is a best of 7, so you do have to win 4, but exactly as Trigonal just pointed out, it will be match point. And just to say really quickly, thank you everyone for tuning in. Please follow Team Gravity on Hitbox if you can, just below, just below, and know when they generally cast, know when anything happens, and follow them on Twitter. Same thing, you can know when anything happens. But get into this game on Cactus Valley. Take us in, Trigonal.
All right, up here in the top left-hand corner, we've got a Korean representative of Team Prime, the Blue Zerg. currently down 2-0. Looking to put a point on the board. It is BboongBboong.
And his opponent in the top right-hand corner, representing Team Prime, also the Red Terran player, currently up 2-0. It is Keen. And this is horizontal spawn positions. So this is gonna be interesting. Obviously, I feel like, or at least the natural of BboongBboong is gonna be a little bit more open up to drops. Is the biggest thing coming off of this. And on the other hand, maybe I know BboongBboong is like mutas, but it's not going to be quite as good, even though he will be going to the main. So it's kind of, I feel like they very much even themselves out, just spawn position wise, as according to air and drop.
A little bit. I think the most difficult thing for this as BboongBboong is the 4th base location. If you're in crossspawns, you get all your bases nicely clustered up exactly how you want them. With, you know, the natural being the closest base to your main, and the 3rd and 4th bases being the closest base to your natural. Whereas in these positions, if you take the 4th base that's in the kind of middle top, then you're very, very open to a parade push from the Terran 3rd, which is going to be in the base that forms like a triangle position, just kind of down a couple cliffs from his main base. And a big push all the way, well, not even all the way, like 2 screens along can be absolutely hellish to deal with in towards your 3rd base. But on the other hand, if you take the base that's in the left-hand side, in the middle left, then you've got another problem. It's just a very long way away. So a couple of drops can really pull you apart. And I guess it depends a little bit on what the Terran style is, whether they like to drop a lot or whether they like to do those big parade pushes. But against a player like Keen, who can actually vary up their style depending on the map, he's going to do exactly that, and he's going to change up what style he's going to play, how he's going to play, like, depending on which 4th base BboongBboong takes, and that's going to be tough for him to deal with.
Yeah, and for his opponent Keen again opening up in a Marine style instead of the Reaper, which I like, and it also not necessarily works out better, but at least the Reaper's on a bigger 4-player map and a little bit harder of a time getting out, but nicely enough, I like this opening with 2 Marines. The 2 Marines will be able to hunt down an Overlord. I've seen the same thing with 2 Marines, but not going for an Overlord, but in TVP, just trying to get a little bit of early poke damage done, so I really like that. And this Overlord of BboongBboong will actually go down, which is going to supply block him heavily. And he has an Overlord, but it's still going to be 15 seconds away, so it's a very big supply block and a nice little win for Keen, while he's still pumping out Marines and going like we've seen Apocalypse for that quick 3rd CC in his main.
Yeah, really pretty nice there. And all these Terrans seem to really like the fast 3CCs. And I had to say on Cactus Valley, I think it's a pretty good idea. It's a pretty safe map to get that 30C, especially if you get it in your main. The choke the natural is very, very tight, very small, and you know you can actually defend 3 bases pretty well as well. It's a bit of a Whirlpool-esque map as well, in that all the bases and everything are all around the outside. There's not much reason to actually go through the middle, go through that Selnog or Watchtower, unless you're cross positions. Basically, all the attack paths are going to be looping a little bit through the middle or going through the outside. So that's kind of an interesting little aspect of the map, and looks like BboongBboong is going to be starting a little bit of lane production as his speed finishes, and I expect him to move out to take a 3rd base fairly soon as well.
It's actually a big round of drones instead of any Ling production. He's got a couple Lings out on the map currently. That is 8 Lings. And they've just been scouting around all over the place, seeing what they can see. But as you mentioned, speed is done. And poking in, making sure there is a wall. If there wasn't, probably go for a little damage. But there is the bunker up and 4 Marines. But sadly, an SCV will be caught outside after dark. And the vampires will kill him.
That's why there's a curfew, boys. Always a bet.
Yep.
Yeah, still actually no 3rd base from BboongBboong just yet. Adding on 2 extra gases and the lair as well. So I don't know. I think this is looking to me a little bit more like a 2-base muta build. Given the lack of Roach Warren or anything else to spend gas on, he's just going to be banking up for days, and that definitely smells like mutas. But now that he takes that hatch as well, we'll see. Maybe it's just a slightly more economic version where you get your mutas a little bit later, and you get the hatch a little bit, 3rd hatch a little bit faster.
Yeah, definitely. I'd just like to point out something interesting I've seen from BboongBboong in multiple games. He's taken the queen off of the main when he's gone up to layer, and then when it's been done, he's put it back to keep injecting. So I don't know what the thought process is that, but he's done that every single game. And a couple
Hmm.
times he actually had it perfectly timed out as to where he defended at the front and then pulled back and didn't actually miss an inject. So I'm not sure
Nice.
why that is, why stylistically, but there's this time it did not quite work out like that, but a couple previous times it has worked out almost perfectly. He's defended out and then pulled back and injected. So I think it's really cool. But for now, BboongBboong is actually going to be looking in. He knows that Keen plays a little bit greedily, checking for a third, but there finally is a tank out for Keen, which I really love this, and it's going to be able to defend the third position very easily, which I'm thinking Keen will take in the horizontal. Yes, he does.
Yeah, it's a really nice position. It actually defends a little bit of that natural ramp as well. So that's pretty cool. BboongBboong doesn't exactly know what's going on inside Keen space yet, because all he's seen is these bunkers and supply depots. He hasn't actually been able to get inside yet, but this Overseer is going to have a good read on what's going on. And before that, even, these Lings might be able to spot this. Yeah, they're going to spot this third base, so that's a nice little win for him there. Although this Overseer is going to be immediately started to be fired upon by this Marine.
Yeah, what's interestingly enough from Keen is he's not done that much scouting yet. He's really just been not necessarily turtling up, but having a strong defense and getting up his economy. So this Spire is going to surprise him a little bit. But then again, really, if you're going to expect any Roach Hydra aggression, you're probably going to see it beforehand. But just again and again, I love this from BboongBboong. He's been checking for another third base in that bottom position. And actually, ooh, he will get into the main, but pulls back. Loses everything but 2 little Lings. And currently, it is 55 workers for Keen to the 62 of BboongBboong, so very close on 3 bases, and they're both just kind of matching each other in what they're doing.
Yeah, going not blow for not blow, really, because there's really been very little fighting in this game so far.
Yeah, they're
both
both
players
passive.
have lost a combined total of 500 resources. They're just going, you're macroing? I'm macroing too. You're getting tech?
This
I'm
is
getting tech
strange.
as well. 20 minutes no rush? But now the Mucus coming in, that 20 minutes no rush agreement is broken, and these Mucus are going to smash its tattered pieces into the floor as they take down this missile turret to cancel at the last second. So close there for Keen, but BboongBboong. Not too much damage with the first pass, but Mutas aren't the sort of thing. They're not an Oracle. You don't go in and end the game. They're much more like Phoenixes. You run around with them and get little picks off, just that gradual chipping damage that eventually gets you a nice lead.
Yep, and beautiful. BboongBboong actually may be able to cancel or at least stop the production of 3 racks. He will pull out though, and I think it was the 10-minute 48-second agreement, and then he broke it. Sadly, this jerk right here, BboongBboong, does not know how to do his maths. But for now,
Attacking
BboongBboong
at 10 minutes, 47 seconds, not on.
In this horizontal spawn position, I love this from BboongBboong. He has fantastic creep spread, and he's hitting his third base hard. Now, there's a couple Marines which will be able to defend. Currently, it is 1-1 to no upgrades at all, except for Ling speed for BboongBboong. So this is going to go really well for Keen, cleaning up a lot of this creep and surviving these Widowmine hits, but there's still just very little for Keen. There's actually not that much to defend with.
Yeah, he's a little bit sparse right now, but of course, you know, Zerg macro, he can just pump out as much as he wants whenever he wants it. And yeah, I don't know, he should be all right. Kingswell has that siege tank as well, so that's going to be pretty good for him. But BboongBboong moving in toward this main base again, and Keen is ready with the Marines. Okay, there we go. I was wondering why he didn't rework any mental turrets. Pick up that overseer would be cool, but actually, just one Marine gets sniped out there. And nah, man, Keen, 12 Marines at a time, he's really getting into the macro. That's what happens when 2 players kind of leave each other alone for 10 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. And also to boot, Kane has actually taken out 25%, or roughly 25% of the creep here with this small little squad in the bottom left-hand corner, doing what they do, cleaning out an Overlord. But now a big attack is going to happen. We have 36 Banelings, 22 more morphing in, and a total of 15 vetoes. This is going to be huge. A preemptive couple Banelings move in to kind of test the waters, and now BboongBboong knows this. He knows there's very little there, and this is going to be up. There is drilling claws for Widow Mines, but only 2 Widow Mines actually at the front have not gone out yet, but Keen is very clumped up.
Yeah, second wave coming in here for BboongBboong. Some nice hits. And the Widow Mines get triggered, and that is the signal for BboongBboong to come in with the rest. If there's no more Widow Mines, then splash damage isn't an issue. Keen getting a nice little concave at the top of this ramp, but meanwhile, oh, those Banelings onto the SCVs at the third base all get taken out. Siege Tank gets sniped by these Mutalisks as well, and as Keen surges forward down the ramp, he comes back to a desolate sight of what he used to his third base. Supply depots crashing and burning around him. However, the drop at BboongBboong's third base has done a little bit of damage, but really not all that much. Only kind of forcing a couple of Lings to spend themselves slightly inefficiently. But now, Keen's going to be pushing up.
Yeah, Keen has done a fantastic job getting rid of this creep. 2 Widow Mines in front of the army, or actually 3 do go down. There's Drilling Claws, much faster burrowing, and now Keen is pushing hard. Currently, Keen is at 2-2 to the only 1-1 of BboongBboong, and that's plus 1-0 for these mutas. A couple Banelings attempting to morph in, but there's just too much DPS and they have to be canceled. Now they are engaging, but still there's so much for Keen. He's rallying across the map, pushing forward quite aggressively. All the mutas are gone. GG. Keen wins game 3.
Keen wins game 3. This puts BboongBboong on a bit of a sticky situation. He is going to have to reverse or kill his opponent here if he actually wants to be able to take the series. Man, Keen, he's looking pretty strong.
Yeah, he definitely is looking incredibly strong, and each time it's been in the engagements, just Keen survives with a little bit more every single engagement that goes down. BboongBboong does not quite have enough, and Keen survives just barely. Or I wouldn't even say BboongBboong does not have enough. It's just Keen's micro is so good that he survives just a little bit extra each time, and that's over time just starts to pile up and just puts him in a fantastic position in a lot of the games, really just to come in after BboongBboong has lost everything and hit him really hard. One thing I am noticing though is BboongBboong can replenish a couple times and push forward really aggressively, but after that 34th time, he's always stays on 3 bases and he does not have enough larva, and he does not have enough just income to be able to replenish that last time. So I feel like maybe he plays off 2 to 3 bases a lot, and that seems to win for him. But against Keen is just so good at holding.
Yeah, I guess a couple of times. It was getting on towards very much 4th beta clock for the Zerg. But on the other hand, it's a little bit what I said about Cactus Volley as well. I think BboongBboong maybe felt a bit better about going for a big 3-base push than trying to actually take and hold a 4th base on Cactus Valley, because it can be very, very tough to do. Moonlight Madness, the next map, is going to be is one that people haven't quite felt out a little bit as much yet. So it's going to be a bit easier for BboongBboong to maybe get away with a 3rd base, or maybe Keen's going to find a new angle that people haven't quite explored to actually be able to deny that 4th base. Personally, I actually think the 4th base is a pretty difficult to secure as Zerg on this map, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to a masterclass from BboongBboong and how to take and hold a 4th base on Moonlight Madness.
Yeah, we will definitely see loading into Moonlight Madness, but on Moonlight Madness, currently down 3 games and needing to win, at least do a reverse all kill 4 games in a row if he wants the $60. If you do lose, though, you will get 20. So either way, they pull out with a little bit of money. But in the top right-hand corner of Moonlight Madness, playing for Team Prime, it is the Red Zerg player, BboongBboong.
And down the bottom left, we've got our blue Terran player, currently up 3-0 on match point. All that stands between him and $60 is Moonlight Madness. That's one map. It is from Team Prime, Keen.
Trying to do them Korean intros, but they never quite work out when you're American and British, sadly. All right, but starting off for BboongBboong, he's opened the same way each time, and I'm kind of curious if we can do that again. He's really preferred these Muta plays, and how do you think that's going to work on Moonlight Madness? This is pretty big. Sorry, the main base is pretty big. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Mutas are still going to be okay on Moonlight Madness. The mineral lines do back off into empty space, but there's plenty of actual like ground space between the mineral fields and the empty space to actually build some missile turrets or spore crawlers or whatever. And just hopping between the bases is okay, but not great. like the by land distance isn't that much longer than the by air. So I don't know how well nucleus are actually going to work out. The one thing I think is good, or is good on Moonlight Madness is roaches. I think they've got a pretty strong place. If you can't actually hit in towards the natural base, breaking down that destructible debris, you can deny a Terran third base for a very, very long time. And that's what one more roach timings are so good at if you're playing out a game in Roach Hydra. Just hit them with a few roaches at 1-1 and then stop them getting a third base while you tech up towards your Hydralisks and your Vipers and just end the game at 2-2 or 3-3.
And as we've seen, or as I mentioned also on Dash and Terminal, if you can get a nice surround, especially into the natural Dash and Terminal with roaches, it's incredibly hard to defend. And like you mentioned on this map, you can get rid of the back rocks, or you can just get into the back into the main base with 2 different directions. So it is very easy to get into really cool, or it's very easy to get yourself into good positions with flanks with things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for now, though, Keen will. I can't tell if this is CC first. I'm thinking it was a CC first. Yeah, no, Keen opening up with a CC first, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. CC first. It is both going into orbitals now, so the mules are going to hit in just a couple seconds, getting up a bunker. And this is Keen being up 3 games. He's feeling very good. He's not nervous at all, and he's just getting up into his standard macro, which he's won in all the previous games. Now, BboongBboong, on the other hand, is also playing like he's played in the previous games, which is actually, no, I think it was about the same as he played in the previous games. It's very interesting that maybe he's not going for some cheese or something. He evidently feels quite confident, and he feels quite confident in his style, but also just remember that both of these players are on the same team, so they know each other. So he may just know that he can't quite do it.
Yeah, possibly. They do, as you mentioned, probably practice quite a lot, especially in the Korean team houses. Their practice regimen is legendary, so it's very, very likely they do practice together and play a lot to discuss strategy. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. But Keen's actually got an STV patrolling back and forth on third base for BboongBboong. One of the things that is nice on Moonlight Madness is Zoe players can afford to take a little bit of an earlier third base than they might usually. I don't think like 3 hats for pool levels of viable, mainly because of the threat of Reapers, but you can definitely get it a little bit faster than normal when you have to wait for having about 3 to 5 roaches out or having speed finished, so you can actually push away those Hellions and stop them just slowly killing your third. But yeah, having it behind those rocks is pretty nice. For now though, we do see a Roachron coming down, as well as 2 Evo chambers at the front. So it looks like we are going to see some roaches out of BboongBboong.
Yeah, BboongBboong going up to 4 gas and actually getting layer. I'm sure we will see some roaches coming out of BboongBboong, but I'm also gonna go into Spire after that. Especially, I'm liking this out of BboongBboong. As I mentioned, maybe on Cactus Valley he can get up to a 3 base, much more stable economy to pump out a lot of units. But maybe even more on Moonlight Madness, he may be able to go off those 3 base and finally get a 4th, get up to a sustainable economy into more of the late game, like he has not quite been able to. But for now, it looks like he will be doing, as you mentioned, going to those roaches. He's not started roaches yet, but is getting +1 missile, +1 ground armor. Or sorry, is that +1 ground armor? No, yeah, that is +1 ground armor, and also has a very nice wall in for any of these Hellions moving across. But Keen is not committed too much to these Hellions and is actually going into Banshees, which is going to hit quite well because you're going to have to pull all your units from your natural to your third, which is on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, and that's kind of annoying to have to do, but Keen's ramping up his production now a little bit. Factory's starting to bring some reactors into play, but for now, BboongBboong actually, has he had to build any roaches yet? He's got 4 roaches. Okay, yeah.
6 on the way.
There we are. He's holding them. Yeah, he's holding them up at the top of that ramp. He just wants to actually be able to hold on that natural with his queens for now, and he will be able to do that for days. Now they're actually moving down a little bit and try and push these Hellions away a bit more as the Hellions try to focus down this one queen. There's plenty of transfusers between these 2 queens and BboongBboong as he builds up his roach count pretty soon. Oh, the scan sees the roaches. Perfect time there by Keen, and it looks like, yeah, 2 scans, second scan to confirm what's going on. He sees the roach one. It's go time now. BboongBboong's going to move his queen out of the way, and those roaches are marching their way across the map towards Keen's base. And, I mean, he can always break down these destructible rocks at the back. BboongBboong does have Keen does have a marine patrolling between them. And at the front, an extra bunker being added on. But you know what? Actually, there's double supply for BboongBboong right now. Keen has very little to actually be able to defend this with. He's certainly going to have the Banshees. Yeah. I don't know. Actually, these Banshees are going to do pretty well.
Yeah, the Banshees are going to be able to get a decent amount of damage done, but again, the third base is happen to be evacuated by Keen. The orbital command is going to be able to go up, but I was going to say about Keen, he almost needs to get rid of these rocks as quickly as he can. Third base of Keen should lift up at any second, and actually, BboongBboong just knows that right off the bat. Finally there, rocks are down, does not lose an SCV because of the rocks, but there are a couple roaches in the main. They should be cleaned up. Two workers dead on Keen's side, but now Hydralisk Den is just about done. Keen does have a siege tank and is be able to do a lot of damage before the roaches get into the main, but still 3 Banshees hailing on these roaches for so long and doing very little, and a Marauder in the bunker are doing a lot of damage.
And a siege tank up there as well. The roaches are finally going to get on top of their siege tank, but they're all going to get cleaned up. Those 3 Banshees doing so much work, and the rocks being cut out at the perfect time. On Moonlight Madness, every race has force fields, and it's in the form of just dropping a ton of rocks on your opponent's army. They do actually push units out of the way. They don't crush them unless they can't move, like, I don't know, siege tanks or fungal units or something. But
is there a certain set of rocks that do kill them? Because I've seen ones where they can clearly move, but like Lings that'll be killed when it goes on top of them.
Only if they're like squashed in by tons and tons of other units. The game will try and push them out of the way first, but. Yeah, so BboongBboong got his army completely split up by that, and it really all went downhill there. I don't even think I don't know. There wasn't really a right decision in that regard. He would have been chased down and killed by the Banshees either way, but for now, Keen is looking really, really good, adding on a second factory, having seen that it's going to be Roach Hydra, and BboongBboong didn't get anywhere near the amount of damage he wanted to get done with that attack, but he's not out of it yet by any means. The 2-2 Roach Hydra timing is going to be pretty strong if he decides to go for it, or he can tech up towards Hive and go for Vipers. For now, he's going to have to back off a little bit, and these Banshees are a threat.
Yeah, 4 Banshees with almost 100% energy coming in and doing a lot of damage. By the way, BboongBboong only killed 3 workers in that entire attack. Now, these Banshees will get a decent amount of damage done, pulling out, killing 3 workers, and then retreating. And this is putting Keen in a great position. And honestly, at first we were a little bit worried for Keen because he did not have enough damage, and even though the rocks are gone in his main base, he's not going to be in that position again, because now he's actually started his macro, and his macro is starting to flourish, and he's waited a long time. He invested into that production, and now it's paying off. He's getting a little bit amount of damage done here and there, and this is really coming down to BboongBboong has to make something happen and has to make it big. 18 Hydralisks, 23 Roaches are coming across the map, and this is it. This is we're going to have to make it big.
Yeah, this is the 2-2 Roach Hydra timing. Next one will be with Vipers. Roach Hydra are very, very timing oriented. You've got to hit these times where you have an advantage, because your army is just not as good as a Terran Bio army generally. But here he comes in. He's piling him bit by bit. This tank in the back is doing so much damage. The Roaches start to thin out for tanking, and then the Hydralisks will fall in their droves. But yeah, he just doesn't have enough. As soon as you lose those Roaches, they're just... You just lost that engagement, basically, unless you are just on cleanup duty. A few Roaches, you're going to lose these on the corner trades. But actually he decides to turn around. Without the tanks, he can fight this army pretty nicely, but as the Hydra start to expose themselves, they're very, very weak. And the Banshees come in as well to add their DPS to the fight. Just the last few Hydras fall. They've got to try and take out these Banshees before they do. And yeah, it looks like they manage it. BboongBboong pushes forwards again.
As I've mentioned, Keen always just seems to get out with his units and doesn't quite lose everything like BboongBboong has, but does pull out with the siege tank. And now BboongBboong's actually on full retreat right here. Keen is playing very well. He's currently at 1-1. But as you mentioned, BboongBboong has to hit a timing. He's currently at 2-2, and he's going to lose that in about 3 seconds right here. And so as you mentioned, it's going to have to be Vipers next, and that's still 70 seconds away from when BboongBboong can actually get that. The Hive has to finish, and then a lot of other things have to finish in its way.
Yeah, absolutely. Checking 4th bases now is Keen, and BboongBboong not actually taking one yet, but it looks like trying to break down these rocks to open up the spot up here to take a 4th base. And that's going to be his next answer. But Keen. Oh, actually, okay, no, that's interesting. BboongBboong is taking one up here, up this little spot, but it has been seen. Engagement going in the middle though. Big concave here for BboongBboong, but these siege tanks, which were protected, now starting to fall. But a couple Widowmine's Burrow, one of them is going to get to go off. Looks like BboongBboong is going to be able to push away the army. A couple Medevacs lift up as well and are picked off. But another drop, or a drop coming out for Keen towards that fourth base, or third base.
Yeah, there is another drop towards that. Yeah, a drop actually going. Oh, actually, interestingly enough, Keen is pushing out while taking damage into his natural base. One siege tank is taken out in the main base. Is trying to defend on this ramp, but BboongBboong did a decent amount of damage done. 5 SCVs killed. These Hydras just so much damage output. They're pushing forward so aggressively in this natural base. Barely Keen is holding on, but now at the natural base of BboongBboong, Keen is pushing forward aggressively. One siege tank to provide a retreat path for Keen's units and to be able to pull back. And there's only a couple roaches here. 18 more roaches coming out. And actually to boot, ventral sacks also for Overlord transportation. The rest of the Hydras for BboongBboong are on retreat and may be able to squash Keen's army. But just so much damage has been inflicted on both sides.
The medevac might go there, saving a Marauder, and those Marauders all important to actually punish those roaches. But now it looks like Keen is going to have to back off a little bit until he meets up with his reinforcements. Then he's going to turn around and take this fight. BboongBboong just with the roaches, without that extra bit of damage the Hydras provide, without the Vipers that provide that disruption to the enemy army, isn't going to be able to actually fight this. He's going to have to hide behind his wall, and that's going to be torn down very quickly. He can't engage through it. BboongBboong, has engaged into Keen, and that's not what he wants to do.
Yeah, BboongBboong has put a lot of his gas into one Viper coming out, but there's no siege tank to actually pull with this. Maybe a medevac, maybe something, but there's so little left for BboongBboong. It is currently 90 army supply of Keen to the 41 of BboongBboong, and BboongBboong will not give up though. Hydra is popping out, the Viper, but oh no, Blinding Cloud, no nothing. Killed very quickly. GG! Keen 4-0ing BboongBboong right there.
Really well played by Keen. I think that was one of the closest games so far. I think that and Cactus Valley were the two closest games. Both games, BboongBboong did a big attack. In this case, it was kind of a counterattack after taking great engagement and taking out Keen's army. And then Keen went across the army, went across the map as BboongBboong was trying to attack his natural. And BboongBboong just didn't have enough at home to defend, and he couldn't actually attack into a Terran. Terrans, they've got their siege tanks on the high ground. They got so much of a big concave you can get up, and Roach's Hydras, they fat units. They suffer a lot more from moving up a ramp than Bio does, and everybody suffers from moving up a ramp. And yeah, so really well played there by Keen. 4-0ing BboongBboong is an impressive feat, and he's going to walk away from this with $60. And BboongBboong, of course, consolatory prize does get 20, and so that's something. That's a little bit of money to drown his sorrows with down at local whatever popular Korean bar he frequents.
Yep, pretty much, and I think one of them, I'm not 100% sure how, but one of them will qualify for that fifth at every four fight nights. They do have a little bit of a tournament of the winners and some invited people. So really nice from Keen, taking it 4-0. As we've mentioned in chat, both of these players have played in GSL Pro League, very experienced players. And recently, actually about 2 months ago or a month and a half, Keen took his first Pro League match, and that's really, he started to get really good. And I mean, he was good before, but he's just exploded since then, playing very well. Just to summarize the rest of the games, I believe it Pilly 3-1'd Ruff, and then Apocalypse 3-2'd Jon Snow. It was very close between Jon Snow and Apocalypse. Could have gone either way. And it's been really fantastic games tonight, though. Honestly, just a lot of really good games.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun casting it. Big thanks to Team Gravity for putting all this on and I guess inviting me to cast. And of course to my co-caster Drenok for doing such a job of casting alongside with me. And yeah, thanks as well to everybody who's tuned in. Really pleased with the turnout. It's going to be cool. And last but absolutely not least, a big shout out to the sponsors, Spawning Tool and Hitbox.tv. Do go and check them out if you want to see any of the games for yourself. All the replays will be uploaded to Spawning Tool. And it's just a great tool in and of itself to see how the metagame's shaping up, see what builds your favorite players are doing. You can see any replay that's uploaded. It'll give you a user tagged build order for it, and you can see what build orders are in vogue at the minute, see which ones are, maybe the underground cheeses that are going to be popular on all this season's new maps.
Yep, and definitely, guys, thank you so much for watching. Follow below Team Gravity, or follow just below us, Team Gravity, to know when more games happen, when more fight nights, and when that end of season fight night comes down. Or not end of season, but end of month fight
Tournament
night.
of Champions, yeah.
Thank you, Tournament of Champions. Thank you, Trigonal. And then follow them on Facebook. Follow them wherever you can. If you want to donate, you can below. And if you want to subscribe, you actually get a $5 card to GTA, or G2A, sorry, to G2A.com, where you can buy some games. So really, by supporting Team Gravity, you support them and really lose nothing in that act. Please also follow my co-caster at TrigonalSC on Twitter to know when he casts. Really awesome stuff for whatever he's doing. He goes to a ton of events and is a nice guy. Please follow me at Drennoc, that is DRENNOC on Twitter. My co-caster is the one, the only Trigonal. I am Drennoc. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a lovely night and hope to see you very soon again.